Hello, everyone. My name is Pragati Mishra. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast series where our trainers are talking about the Train the Trainer program at SKC and the journey with neurolinguistic programming. My name is Pragati. I'm the Chief Communication Officer with SK Consultancy Goa. SK Consultancy is a leading neurolinguistic programming institute in Goa, and we are reaching everywhere. And now we are also introducing foundation levels and other levels that are going to happen in different cities. So feel free to register for that. And while you can check out our website for that, let's start with the conversation that we want to have today. So today, just like in our other episodes, we have someone very special, someone very intellectual, Miss Nada Meskaoui. Nada is an international trainer of neurolinguistic programming. So welcome to the podcast, Nada. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you. Thank you, Pragati, and thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I really appreciate it.
How is it happening? How are you today? Tell us more about yourself.
So I am Nada Meskaoui. I am a certified NLP trainer, hypnotherapist, and coach based in Lebanon. And I'm also a university professor. My background is in programming. So for more than 20 years, I have been teaching people how to program machines. And now I help them understand their mind and reprogram it to make it work for them. So I have shifted from computer programming into mind programming. And in my coaching, I focus mainly on stress management, emotional regulation, emotional eating, and helping people set meaningful goals and stay motivated to achieve them.
That's so interesting, like how you were doing it for machines and now you've just evolved and done it differently for humans. Like, how did it start for you? Like, how did NLP happen and how did you move from machine to human?
In fact, my journey with NLP actually started from a very personal place. Before 2013, as a mother of three and a university professor, I was fully dedicated to my job and my family. And like most women in our culture, I was neglecting my own needs. And as I told you, I'm living in Lebanon. And as you know, the situation here has been unstable for years. So there is always this kind, of background stress.
Yeah.
But you keep going, you do what you have to do, you take care of everything, even if deep down something doesn't feel right.
Right.
Until 23rd of August 2013. That day, a bomb exploded just 10 meters away from us. And I was with my three kids at my parents' house. My youngest son and I were injured. And that moment really changed everything for me. It made me stop, reflect on my life, on my priorities, and on how I was living. So that's when I started my journey of personal growth. Then, 3 years after this event, I made the decision to invest in myself and enrolled in a coaching program. Then from there, things evolved. When you start, you evolve in the domain. I became a meta coach, an NLP trainer, a hypnotherapist, and energy healer. But I can consider that NLP specifically was a turning point for me. It helped me understand that our behaviors, our reactions, even our struggles are not random. They come from subconscious programming. And believe me, once you understand that, you realize something very empowering, which is that change is possible and it can happen faster than we think. So today I use NLP in my coaching and the training to help people achieve their personal and professional goals.
This is so brave and so interesting because, we often hear people say that you are not what happens to you, you are what you decide to do after what happens to you, and how beautifully you have navigated through this. And, I am sure that you had your own journey with everything that you understood. How did you get associated with SKC as an NLP trainer? How has that been for you? Because you've had a journey, but then how specifically did this happen?
Okay. My NLP journey with SK Consultancy has been, I can say it has been foundational. Because training with Suren Kolkankar and the team gave me not just techniques,
Mm-hmm.
it gave me a very solid structure and deep understanding of NLP. And this is what every trainer needs. And what I appreciated the most is the focus on quality, on standards, and real applications. So it's not just theory, it's how to use NLP in real life and with the clients. And that foundation is something I personally rely on in my coaching and in my training.
Mm-hmm. So, with everything that you changed from your personal journey, and I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. I forgot to mention that. So, but it's that it helped you change everything, and now you're helping so many people do it differently. And when you say that NLP was the turning point, so how were things before for you? Like now that you are an NLP trainer, how are you different as compared to how you were before you were an NLP trainer?
By the way, Pragati, I can tell you that I'm grateful for what happened. It was a very painful event, but it changed my life. Now, after 13 years, I can tell you that this event has changed my life. And of course, if I want to compare before and after NLP, I definitely have changed.
Mhm.
And the biggest change for me is, the level of awareness
Mhm.
and control that I now have over my internal state.
Yeah.
And it's really needed, and especially if you are living in Lebanon and with these situations.
Mhm.
And before NLP, if we will talk about before and after, before NLP, like many people, I was reacting automatically. So I was reacting automatically to stress and specific situations without really understanding what's happening inside me.
Mhm.
So there was always this gap between what you want to do and what you do actually because of this automatic behavior.
Right.
And then NLP gave me a much deeper awareness of my thoughts, my emotional triggers, and
Mhm.
the patterns behind my behaviors.
Yeah.
And this awareness is very, very important.
True.
And this awareness changed everything. Because, once you see the pattern, you
Mhm.
are no longer controlled by it.
Yes.
So, in this case, you gain the ability to pause, to choose a different response, and to act in alignment with your goals instead of your habits. So, NLP also changed how, not just how I see myself, and not just the awareness it gave me, but also it changed how I see others. Now I became less judgmental, more understanding, because I now recognize that everyone is operating from their own programming. So overall,
Mhm.
NLP didn't just give me tools, it changed how I think, how I respond, and how I navigate both my personal and my professional life.
That's so interesting to know that you are so aware about your patterns, about so which also tells me that every day you're intentional about the choices that you're making, the things that you're putting out there, and the kind of the work that you're doing. So with that, what are the kind of the programs or workshops that are you currently delivering using neuro-linguistic programming?
I mainly use NLP in workshops and coaching around emotional regulation, stress management, procrastination, productivity, goal setting, emotional eating, and habit change. And in addition to that, I have developed specialized programs such as NLP for parents, NLP for teens, and NLP for dietitians. And each program is tailored to the specific challenges and needs for these groups.
Yeah.
And I'm also currently working on integrating NLP diploma as part of continuous education programs in universities, because I truly believe that there is a real need for young people to learn these tools and to have this awareness early in their life, because this will help them a lot. This will help them make better choices, better decisions, manage their emotions, and build a strong mindset from a young age. And I think this will have a great impact on their life.
It's actually commendable about the kind of the work that you're doing because, and very specifically when you said eating and you said you're doing NLP for dietitian, it is one of its kind. And it's interesting to know that you chose that. Do you mind telling us why did you choose this domain, like eating habits and dietitian? Because I'm sure this will be one of the first that our viewers also are going to listen to. So yes.
Exactly, because this is a real problem worldwide. I know that here in our culture in Lebanon, when we go out with the friends, the first, and most common subject is I am on diet. I will start my diet next week. I'm struggling with my diet. I'm not eating and I'm not losing weight. So that's why I chose this domain specifically. People are not aware that before they start following a specific diet, they have to work on their mindset. And this is why also I did this program for dietitians, because they have to be aware of what's happening inside their clients, how they are thinking, why they are behaving in such way. So
Right.
this is very important.
I think you are actually touching a subject that is very close to a lot of people's heart and they don't know where that behavior is coming from. Also, it's so commendable that you already think that the young thinkers should actually go ahead and learn that as a mandate thing. So good luck with that, and I really hope that it turns out in the most amazing way. With that, I also want to understand, do you think it is important for people to learn NLP from certified trainers who are recognized by international bodies, who maintain ethics, who understand NLP and the impact that it has on people?
Definitely. This is extremely important because NLP works at the level of thoughts and emotions and behaviors. So if it's not learned properly, people may end up using techniques incorrectly or only at the surface level. And so they will not benefit from it. I have met many people who learned NLP from non-certified centers and later told me, look, Nada, NLP doesn't work for me. I'm not convinced.
Right.
And my response is always the same. This is what happens when you don't have a solid and deep understanding of NLP.
Right.
And also, I know some centers that do not respect the required training hours, which is a serious issue because learning NLP requires proper depth and practice and integration. So we need a certain number of hours.
Right.
So when the standards are not respected, people don't get the full value. And of course, they will be wasting their time. So that's why it's really important to learn from certified trainers who follow international standards set by organizations like ABNLP and ANLP.
Yeah. I think you are
This
also
is a very
talking about.
important question.
I'm sorry?
And this is a very important question.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people say that it is not working for me because they're not doing it the right way. And with that, I want to know if you have to recommend someone to do NLP or if they want to pursue NLP as a career, who do you think they should pursue it with and why? Why should they go with the option that you are giving them?
Okay. Look, first of all, if someone wants to pursue NLP seriously as a career, definitely first they have to do the training of trainers. Okay, because the NLP practitioner and master practitioner, and these two levels, you learn how to work on yourself and with the client. But at the trainer level, it's different. At this level, we develop the ability to structure your knowledge, and this is very important. And also, you develop the ability to influence groups and to create transformation at a larger scale. So it's not just about learning more techniques, it's about mastering how to deliver, how to communicate with impact, and how to guide others through change.
Right.
Okay. And of course, the choice of where you do your training is essential because it directly impacts the quality of what you learn and how effectively you can apply it.
Right.
Now, to answer your question about why SK Consultancy, simply because with SK Consultancy, what you get is not just certification. You get a strong foundation, a clear methodology, and high training standards. And in fact, Suren and the team bring both depth and practical experience, which makes a big difference in how confident you feel as a trainer.
Yeah.
And beyond that, you become part of a supportive community, a kind of family that guides and supports you even after the training. So, of course, I encourage everyone who would like to pursue NLP training to do it with SK Consultancy.
What's your most favorite part about SK Consultancy?
What I love most is that I feel that we are really a member of a family. The guidance, the support, even after the training, is really amazing and very important for everyone who pursue this path, because after the training, people feel alone.
Yeah.
They don't know from where to start.
Right.
When you are part of a community, of a family, it's very important.
Lovely. And with that, I come to my last question. What is one thing that you hope people take away from this interaction that you and I are having, or you and I are talking about?
The one takeaway I would love people to take from this conversation is that you are not stuck, you are patterned, you are programmed, not stuck. Because most people believe that if they are not moving forward, it's because they lack discipline or motivation or maybe consistency. But the reality is very different. What's really happening is that they are operating from patterns which are learned. These are ways of thinking, of feeling, and behaving that were built over time. And, once you understand that, something powerful happens. Because anything that's learned can be changed. So we need to understand this. We will have a hope that we can change our behavior and our patterns. And of course, NLP gives you the tools to understand your patterns and to shift them in a structured and effective way. So, of course, when you learn this in the right environment, like SK Consultancy, you are not just learning techniques. You are learning a skill that can transform how you approach your life, your decisions, and your future.
This is a very beautiful answer, and I am sure this is going to be a food for thought for a lot of people. And thank you so much for your time. I think it's commendable about how you've been able to turn things around and how positive you are. I love your energy here, and I wish you all the best for everything that you're doing. And thank you so much for being able to make time for us today.
Thank you. Thank you for your Pragati. Thank you for having me.